350 single-family homes and duplexes are on the drawing board in Wildwood. A 29-year-old resident of the village is arrested on drunk driving charges. A convicted sex offender arrested at home of his mother in the Villages. Villager Orrin Miller files to run for Sumter County Commission. A Spruce Creeker allegedly knocks the teeth out of a fellow resident in a brawl at a dog park. A distracted driver from Mexico nearly hits a deputy's squad car. A Guatemalan DUI suspect arrested with a phony ID after he was found passed out. An 81-year-old villager jailed after alleged attack sparked by a computer frustration. A villager was arrested after allegedly stealing a disabled woman's medicine. Intoxicated motorcyclist arrested at busy shopping plaza in the Villages. How many holes in ones of golf do we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. Let's have some more news. I got a couple, three updates. I want to get them out of the way real quick for you. Florida Highway Patrol is zeroing in on the type of vehicle involved in a fatal hit and run in February on US 301. Blackberry, 63 of Lake Mary, died after being hit by a vehicle on US 301 south of County Road 102 near Brown and Brown Farms and Country Store. Barry was a former reporter for the Orlando Centennial. Barry's body was found at 8 a.m. February 17th by the Florida Highway Patrol. Investigators believe the accident occurred sometime the previous night. Investigators now believe the vehicle that hit him was a 1992 through a 2007 model Ford Ecoline passenger or cargo van. A portion of the left headlight bezel from the hit-and-run vehicle had been found at the scene. Florida Highway Patrol troopers continue to seek the public's help in solving this case. You know, this guy was wanting to get out of jail early. The unlicensed Guatemalan involved in a hit-and-run crash that sent a woman to a local hospital will remain behind bars pending an arraignment. Jose Efron Garcia Perez, 30 of Lady Lake, is set for arraignment on May 6 in Lake County Court. The Public Defender's Office has sought Garcia Perez's release on his own recognizance. He has been held since his February 4 arrest at the Lake County Jail on charges of driving without a license and hit-and-run. He has been unable to come up with the $30,000 bond. The unlicensed Guatemalan involved in a hit-and-run crash that sent a woman to a local hospital will remain behind bars pending an arraignment. This is sort of an update of our buddy Orrin Miller, which I think he got hornswoggled a little bit here. Villager Orrin Miller has filed paperwork indicating he will run for the Sumter County Commission. This guy's a tough old guy, I'm telling you. His action Friday means Miller's name will appear on the August Republican primary ballot. He will face incumbent Don Wiley for the district's 5 seat. Well, I'll tell you, between the two of them, I'm voting for Orrin Miller. It's the latest chapter in the long, estranged saga that saw Miller rise up 4 years ago to successfully knock off incumbent Commissioner Steve Prince. Miller was inspired to run after Prince and fellow commissioners voted for a huge property tax increase in 2019 that enraged residents. Well, he'll get my vote. Now for some new news. A neighborhood of 350 single-family homes and duplexes is planned south of County Road 44A, less than 1/2 mile west of 301 in Wildwood's downtown. Special Magistrate Lindsay C.T. Holt Tuesday recommended approval of a comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning for Wildwood 3 at a meeting of the Wildwood Planning and Zoning Board. The City Commission may consider the project later this month. The zoning would change from mixed use to medium density residential, reducing the number of allowed homes from 10 to 9 per acre. A maximum number of permitted homes would be about 500. With 14 acres of wetlands located on the 55.7 acre site, the lack of non-wetland frontage on the property makes it unsuitable for commercial development, which prompted the zoning change to only residential. Gopher tortoises were found on the site and will need to be relocated in coordination with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission before development begins. Wildwood 3 is expected to add 63 students to the city's schools. An analysis by Wash Traffic Engineering estimated the project would generate 2,617 daily trips. It was determined that left or right turn lanes are not needed at the project entrance. We keep finding these rare and protected species of animals, and we keep relocating them. Well, if we keep building, we're not going to have no place to relocate them to. A villager with several drunk driving convictions in New Jersey was arrested in a golf cart at a Winn-Dixie store in the Villages. Janine Renee Robka, 45, who lives in a village of Santo Domingo, allegedly keyed a vehicle during a dispute with the vehicle's owner at about 3 p.m. Easter Sunday at Winn-Dixie at La Plaza Grande. That's up by Spanish Springs. Robka had been stopped at a stop sign at the store when a man walked in front of Robka's golf cart. Robka yelled profanities at the man and then walked toward his silver Ford and used the key to scratch the right front passenger door, causing about $1,000 in damage. The man's mother was sitting in the Ford when Robka keyed the door, prompting her to call 911. Police officers arrived in the parking lot as Robka was attempting to flee in her golf cart. The police officer used his squad car to block her golf cart and prevent her from leaving. I want you to pay attention to what I just said there. How fast this police officer must have gotten there. The mom called 911 after she keyed the door. The police officer arrived in the parking lot as Robka was attempting to leave. That's pretty quick service right there. That or the cop just happened to be right there. It appeared Robka had been drinking. Officers found that she has had multiple convictions for driving under the influence in her native New Jersey and had been arrested for drunk driving in 2023 in the Villages. After the incident here, her driver's license was permanently revoked. Robka refused to participate in field sobriety exercises and repeatedly demanded a lawyer. She provided breath samples that registered .307 and .289 blood alcohol content. Man, lady, you were wasted. She was arrested on a felony charge of driving under the influence, as well as a felony charge of driving while license suspended and criminal mischief. She was booked out to Lake County Jail on a $25,000 bond. A convicted sex offender has been arrested at the home of his mother in the Villages. Robert Allen Gerber, 60, was taken into custody by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies after answering the door at about 11 a.m. Wednesday at 2857 Barboza Drive, the La Crescenta Villas. Gerber, a native of Summers Point, New Jersey, was wanted on a charge of failure to register as a sex offender and for violating his probation on a charge of aggravated child abuse. His probation on that charge is set to run through 2028. He is required to register as a sex offender every 6 months as a result of a 2023 conviction on a charge of possession of child sexual assault material in Burlington County, New Jersey. He was being held without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. He moved into Villa del Canto this past September. We seem to be the stomping grounds of all sexual predators anymore. A 29-year-old resident of the Villages was arrested on a drunk driving charge after he was caught speeding. Richard Tyler Parks, who lives in the village of Glenbrook, was driving a red sport utility vehicle shortly before 2 a.m. Tuesday on Highway 27-441 when he was caught on radar traveling at 61 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, according to Fruitland Park Police Department. Well, where were you at when I was doing a ride-along? When the officer spoke to Parks, the odor of alcohol was detected coming from his breath. He said he had been at a bar in Orlando where he had consumed 2 seltzer drinks. The Massachusetts native agreed to participate in field sobriety exercise, but his poor performance led the officer to conclude that Parks had been driving impaired. He provided breath samples that registered .074 and .070 blood alcohol content, a bit below the .08 legal limit. Yeah, maybe he only did have 2, 2 closed pink Whitney containers were found in the center console of his SUV. Parks was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and issued a written warning for speeding. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $1,000 bond. Here's a little story of our friendly neighbors at the other 55-plus park, Spruce Creek. A resident of Spruce Creek South allegedly knocked 2 teeth out of a fellow resident during a brawl at a dog park. Stefanos Fergatiadis, 57, was confronted on Wednesday by the other resident who believed that the native of Greece had been spreading rumors about him, according to the arrest report from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Hey, who cares? Seriously, who cares if they spread rumors about you? The other man found Fergatiadis near his golf cart at the dog park at the 55-plus community in Summerfield. He confronted Fergatiadis, and the two men began arguing. He said Fergatiadis had his fist closed and approached him in an aggressive manner. The other man said he began swinging his dog leash to try to keep Fergatiadis away from him. Fergatiadis pushed the other man, and he fell to the ground. Fergatiadis, who stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 230 pounds, got on top of him and put him in a chokehold. The other man was punched multiple times and lost 2 teeth. Oh, that's going to cost you. Pain and suffering, dental bills, lawyer fees. Fergatiadis fled the scene before the arrival of the deputies. A deputy later located Fergatiadis at his home. He said he had only punched the other man a few times. Fergatiadis was arrested on a felony charge of battery on a person over the age of 65. He was booked at the Marion County Jail and released after posting a $1,000 bond. That always kills me. I only hit him a few times. That's what the law says about assault. Well, if you only hit him a few times, then that's okay. A distracted driver from Mexico nearly crashed into a Sumter County Sheriff's Deputy squad car parked along County Road 466. Isaac Enrique Ramirez de Villa, 26 of Summerfield, was at the wheel of a red 2011 Dodge pickup at 7:50 p.m. Wednesday when he nearly ran off the road and hit the squad car parked on the grass at County Road 466 and County Road 209 in Oxford, according to the arrest report. During the traffic stop, Ramirez de Villa, who did not speak English, handed a deputy a Mexican driver's license and claimed the truck belonged to his boss. Therefore, he could not find the required insurance documentation. He said he has been living in the United States for about a year. He said the reason he nearly swerved off the road and hit the deputy's car was because he was distracted. Phone, right? I swear, these cell phones is almost like an addiction to some people. The deputy discovered that Ramirez de Villa was wanted on a Sumter County warrant in connection with a 2023 arrest for driving without a license. Ramirez de Villa had failed to show up in court to answer to that charge. Well, then now I would say that goes back to jail. No bond. We'll see what happens. He was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center, where he is being held for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Good. Are you planning on having your driveway redone, having your garage floor epoxied, having a custom design in mind? Call B&D Concrete Creations. If you are new to the Villages, B&D is the one I used and many others has also. Every driveway you see here is a custom design. Any type of design you'd like, you pick out the colors, he'll do it. Romaldo is very reliable and very dependable. He's got a crew of guys that respects your property, and they won't cause any damage whatsoever. Have any questions, call Romaldo. Free estimates. He'll leave the catalog. If you don't know what you want, have no idea about a design, he'll leave the catalog, and you can keep it for a couple of days. Go through it. Look at the designs. If you see one or two in there that looks like it fits your bill, you can even tweak it. So just call Romaldo. Make the appointment. He'll come meet you. He's a really nice guy to talk to. He's really busy, but of all the people that I have, Romaldo's the one that I can recommend. Give him a call. Let him come out. Let him talk to you. Show him what you want. He'll work with you. He'll do you a good job, and his prices are reasonable and fair. Tell him I sent you. That's B&D Concrete Creations, LLC. Beautiful designed driveways, walkway, pool decks, patios, garage epoxy, and much, much more. He's licensed and insured. Call Romaldo Mawire, 352-455-9614. Or you can go to his website, bndconcretecreations.com. Give him a call. He's good people.
Hello, my name is Romaldo. The company's name is B&D Concrete Creations, LLC. You call me, my phone number is 352-455-96. Anything, free estimate.
A new title and pay increase are in the works for some golf pros in the Villages. The proposed change has been outlined in a memo for the Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors. The VCCDD Board is being asked to establish the title of General Head Golf Professional. and it reclassified 3 head golf professionals into this position with the current fiscal year. There are already 2 head golf professionals who oversee multiple country clubs, including one for Belglade, Bonifay, and another for Hacienda, Tierra del Sol, and Orange Blossom Hills. The new regional head golf professional would oversee the new championship golf course, Shallow Creek, as well as Glenview and Nancy Lopez. The pay range for the regional head golf professional would be set at $85,582.86 to $128,374.30. A Guatemalan drunk driving suspect was arrested with phony identification after he was found passed out behind the wheel of a vehicle. Medardo Darnell Perez Lucas, 38, of Newberry, South Carolina, was slumped over the steering wheel of his vehicle on Thursday afternoon on County Road 243A and County Road 243, according to the arrest report of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Another motorist honked his horn to try and wake up Perez Lucas and contacted law enforcement. When deputies arrived on the scene, they noted the vehicle was running and there were cans of Modelo beer that were in plain sight. Perez Lucas, who does not speak English, was found to be in possession of a North Carolina identification card with a different name and a different date of birth, but which had Perez Lucas' photograph. He was also in possession of a Guatemalan consular identification card with his true name and date of birth. He struggled through field sobriety exercises and refused to provide a breath sample. As he was being transported to the Sumter County Detention Center, Perez Lucas became so enraged he began to kick a metal partition in the squad car. His kicking was so violent, it disconnected an in-car camera and activated a crash sensor. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence, driving without a license, and possession of a counterfeit document. He was booked at the jail and released after posting a $2,650 bond. DeSantis signed in a new law to target this kind of thing. This kid will be up for deportation as soon as that law kicks in. I don't know when it takes effect. Maybe it already has. I don't know. But if it has, then Sumter County ain't enforcing it. A villager who has admitted she had been drinking Cosmopolitans was arrested after a golf cart crash. Leanne Seaberger Woodall, 62, of the village of DeLuna, was driving a White Star Cirrus golf cart shortly before 9 p.m. Saturday in the vicinity of Megason Road and State Road 44 when she made a U-turn in front of a Wildwood Police Department vehicle, leading to a collision, according to the arrest report from the Florida Highway Patrol. When an investigator spoke to Woodall, he suspected she had been drinking. The San Diego native, who had been traveling alone in the golf cart, said she had 2 Cosmopolitans earlier in the evening. Woodall, who purchased her home last year in the village, struggled through field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that registered .189 and .184 blood alcohol content. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and ticketed for an improper U-turn. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. Here's an update that I missed a while ago, so I'll give it to you now real quick. A villager with a history of heavy drinking has been sentenced for biting a woman's arm. John Verville, 75, of the village of Bel Air, has been placed on probation for 3 years after pleading no contest March 28th in Sumter County Court to a charge of battery on a person over the age of 65. Verville was arrested November 21 after a woman said the Detroit, Michigan native became irate and attacked her when she confronted him about his drinking. So there's a quick update on there. The owner of a local pool company was arrested on a drunk driving charge at a local restaurant. David Chauncey Lapp, 44, owner of Sparkling Waters Pool and Spa Services in the Villages, appeared to have been drinking when he was getting into a 2021 Silverado at about 8:30 p.m. Saturday at Napolino's restaurant, according to the arrest report of the Wildwood Police Department. Lapp was asked to participate in field sobriety exercises, but he refused. Call my attorney. I'm not answering any questions, Lapp said. Lapp later agreed to provide breath samples, but samples registered .205 blood alcohol content. He was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $750 bond. Lapp was arrested in 2018 in a drunken incident at a restaurant in the Villages. At the time, he was on felony probation for cocaine possession. Last year, a Village of DeSoto couple were called to a deed compliance hearing and claimed Lapp ripped them off to the tune of $40,000 after he was hired to construct a pool for them. I remember that story, do you? I don't know how it turned out. Never got an update. A villager was arrested on a drunk driving charge on his way home from a bar. Roger Thomas Gorton, 56, who lives in the village of Santo Domingo, was driving a silver Toyota sedan at about 1:30 a.m. Saturday on East Highway 25 in Bellevue when he was paced at 64 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. According to the report of the Marion County Sheriff's Office, during a traffic stop, it appeared Gordier had been drinking. He said he had been at Opus Bar and Billiards where he had consumed 2 drinks. However, he was found to be in possession of a receipt from the bar indicating he had been charged for 4 Long Island iced teas. He struggled through field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that registered .138 and .139 blood alcohol content. A criminal history check revealed that he had been convicted of drunk driving in 1990 and 2000 in New York. He was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. He was booked at the Marion County Jail and released after posting a $1,000 bond. An 81-year-old villager was jailed after an alleged attack sparked by her frustration with her computer. Leonore Smiley was arrested Monday morning at her home at 1801 Fonseca Way in the village of Santo Domingo on felony charges of battery and false imprisonment. Sure seems like a lot of things going on in Santo Domingo. A 79-year-old man fled a residence, and when he spoke with Sumter County Sheriff's deputies, he was distraught. He had fresh cuts and scratches on both his lower arms, as well as fresh marks on the back of his head, according to the arrest report. He said he had gone to Smiley's house to help her with her computer problem. Smiley began to blame the man for the computer malfunction. She became so enraged, she grabbed both of his lower arms and began to dig into his skin with her nails. The man tried to pull away, but Smiley continued to scratch and dig into his arms. He tried to flee through the garage, but Smiley blocked him in the laundry room. The native New Yorker struck him in the back of the head, knocking his glasses to the laundry room floor. When he tried to call law enforcement, he dropped his phone on the garage floor. He saw an opening in the doorway and left as quickly as he could and drove to his residence. When deputies went to Smiley's home, they found the man's cell phone under her vehicle in the garage. His glasses were still on the laundry room floor. Smiley was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was released after posting a $5,000 bond. Man, I don't know what to say about some of this. The project-wide advisory committee has approved an expenditure of $367,414 to replace the heating and air conditioning system at Seabreeze Rec Center. PWAC members on Monday approved a low bid of $364,414 from Nelson and Company Engineered Services, LLC. The project had been budgeted at $250,000, so the remaining $117,414 will be paid for through a budget transfer. That means they're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. Nelson and Company was among 5 companies who submitted bids for the work. The highest bid was $543,944. Sometimes I feel like we're just getting ripped off. An intoxicated motorcyclist was arrested at a busy shopping plaza in the Villages. Stephen David Stanhope, 62 of Wildwood, was riding a motorcycle at about 3:30 p.m. Tuesday in the area of Marsh Bend Trail and Everglades Lane at Magnolia Plaza when he failed to come to a complete stop, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. A check of the motorcycle license plate showed that the registered owner did not possess a proper motorcycle endorsement. During the traffic stop, Stanhope attempted to apply his motorcycle's kickstand, but missed it several times. Stanhope admitted he had consumed a few beers. "I knew I shouldn't have drove. I've been drinking," the New Hampshire native told the police officer. Stanhope's poor performance in field sobriety exercises led the officer to conclude he had been driving impaired. Stanhope provided breath samples that registered .156 and .143 blood alcohol content. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and operating a motorcycle without a proper endorsement. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $750 bond. Dude, why don't you get your motorcycle endorsement? It's not such a big deal. Everybody gets them. Why don't you have yours? A resident of the Villages was arrested after allegedly stealing a disabled woman's medicine. The woman was staying at the Microtel Hotel in Marion County and had ordered delivery of her prescription medicine through DoorDash, according to the arrest report from Marion County Sheriff's Office. When the medicine never showed up, she inquired at the front desk. The hotel personnel said they had not accepted delivery of the medicine. Check of the security surveillance showed 60-year-old Daniel Murray Sullivan of the village of Calumet Grove walking by the woman's room and picking up a package. He was also a guest at the hotel. Thought they say he's a village resident. Why is he staying at a hotel? Murray was arrested Tuesday on a charge of theft. He was booked at the Marion County Jail and released after posting a $2,500 bond. I wonder how many holes in ones we got this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Man, somebody sure is either hitting them long and straight or something. Kimberly Barblock may be new to golf, but she certainly has a sense of humor. In my second time out on a course after Golf Academy for new golfers, I got a hole-in-one into the wrong hole, Barblock said. This amazing feat occurred at the Marsh View Pitch and Putt. Barblock and her husband moved to the villages of Citrus Grove in November and are here seasonally. That's cool. She hit the ball and it went to the wrong hole and it got a hole-in-one. I don't know. Does that count? I guess. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-run, Kimberly. Joanne Schmidt of the village of Sunset Point got her first hole-in-one March 29th at the Pimlico Executive Golf Course. She used a 7-iron at hole number 8 at 102 yards. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Joanne. It was an incredible day as villager Charlie Cox got his first hole-in-one after golfing for 60 years. The Village of McClure resident was golfing on March 30th when he scored the lucky ace at hole number 7 at Mangrove Executive Golf Course. He got the hole-in-one at 122 yards with a pitching wedge. It was an epic moment as my wife witnessed it along with another couple. Mike Gorman was playing with us and also had an ace that morning at Mickey Lee Pitch and Putt. What are the odds that two strangers would each have a hole-in-one on the same day? Stars were aligned. Yes, they were. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Charlie. A villager celebrated his first hole-in-one while golfing with his son. Stephen Beals of the village of Pinellas scored the lucky ace on Friday, April 5 at hole number 4 at the Southern Oaks Championship Golf Course. The hole-in-one was made memorable for the 60-year-old as he was golfing with his son, Benjamin. Beals has lived in the villages since 2019. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Stephen. A village of Chitty Chatty man was thrilled to get his first hole-in-one. Andy Lindman scored the lucky ace at hole number 9 at the Bogart Executive Golf Course using a 7-iron at 128 yards. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Andy. A villager who has been golfing for nearly 50 years got his first hole-in-one on April Fool's Day. Jim Lyons moved into the village of Sanibel about 2 months ago. He was golfing on April Fool's Day when he got the lucky ace at Evans Prairie Killdeer hole, number 6 at 141 yards with an 8-iron. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Jim. Villager Pat Levere got a hole-in-one on Saturday, April 6th at hole number 6 at Palmetto Executive Golf Course. Her two sons were playing with her and got to see it happen. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Pat. And finally, Dale Shellevold of the village of Briar Meadow got his first hole-in-one the day before his 74th birthday. He's been golfing for over 55 years and has had an albatross, but never a hole-in-one. Well, you got your first one now, Dale. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Dale. Happy birthday. How about a couple letters to the editor? To the editor, I agree that the developer is just building houses. South of State Road 44 looks like a housing development, nothing else. The group in charge are only after money. They have lost sight of the original concept. That's sent in by John Powling from the village of Tall Trees. Thank you, John. To the editor, there's no doubt better management maintenance is needed. However, those changes will not provide significant executive golf course improvements. They are simply overused. South of State Road 44, there are only 3 proposed new golf courses in the book, while thousands of homes are being built. The real need is to build 8 to 10 executive golf courses south of State Road 44. This, along with improved maintenance, will make for happy golfers. That's sent in by Scott Sokola, the village of St. Catherine. Well, thank you, Scott. To the editor, my wife and I recently moved to the villages less than 2 months ago. Access to multiple golf courses was a big reason we decided to make this our retirement home. It was mine too. I have only played a handful of courses. Half are in such very poor shape, and the outcry for help on getting these courses more playable is huge. I can only hope that the Villages does the right thing and makes this key amenity up to the expectations of many owners, renters, and guests. To the powers that be in the Villages, please step it up so I don't feel like I made a poor retirement decision. That's sent in by Tony Carden from the village of Lake Deaton. Well, Tony, my only argument about that is I've seen these kind of places pop up and disappear in Indiana 2 or 3 times. And when the golf courses can't be kept up or it gets too expensive, they close them down and build houses on them. And I'm just wondering if that's going to happen here. Just food for thought. Okay, I think that's going to be the news for this week. Let me just say I appreciate everybody for subscribing. I appreciate all my new Patreon members that I've received in the last couple of weeks. Thank you very much. And the little bit of a break that I took from Patreon and posting a lot of new videos, I was just getting burned out. And I still feel a little tired from all this. If you can, join Patreon. And I post a lot of videos on Patreon that you don't see on YouTube. I can put things on Patreon that I can't put here. Certain types of music I can put there, I can't put here. So if you can get there for as little as $2 a month. And then it goes up from there. It's $2, $5, $10, $15, and $25 a month. The $25 memberships, I got them really limited. I don't even know how many's on there now. I think there's 4. There might be openings for 5. I won't swear to that, but I really limited that. That being said, I'm going to say see you on the other side. Be safe. Be well. Be aware.
And don't leave your keys in the golf cart.